Hi Gemini, here is a general look at your solar chart for October 2015, and I'm going to mention the new moon this month, which I don't usually do because it's quite an interesting one. It's happening on the 13th of October and it's making a strong aspect with the planet Uranus. So that means that there will be change in the pipeline, and that change will generally take place according to where the moon or Uranus is in your sun sign chart, but also in your natal chart as well. And just on the subject of Uranus, over quite a long term, that's to say from 2011 to 2019, Uranus has been and will be in a highly progressive area of your sun sign chart, Gemini. So that's good news for you. You heavenly twins, and that means that your cherished hopes and dreams, maybe something that was disrupted in the past or put on hold, can start going forwards again. And or maybe it goes forwards for the first time because you have been in some way unable to get at it. The general feeling of the Uranian transit is a very positive one for your sign, and it means that you can go forwards with something important, and new kinds of associations, cutting edge thinking or technology will tend to disrupt or inspire according to how open-minded you are. Because this energy is going to bring about change, you may as well try to stay, as you often are, Gemini, as flexible and as versatile as you possibly can be in your thinking and in your perspective, because the universe, particularly this planet Uranus, works with the higher self level, and I would say, I mean, they all do, but this one can bring about an aha moment or a series of aha moments where something that you really hadn't thought through or understood about your needs, or maybe the universe has just got a better grip on what your purpose is here and what your future is going to be panning out like. So is trying to guide you into your conscious mind understanding the direction, or maybe the way to go in the direction. Maybe you've already chosen the direction, but the way you want to get to that destination. Although when we get to one destination, we find that, you know, that just gives us a better viewpoint on the next one and the next one and the next one. So it's a bit like steps on a ladder or something like that. So these new associations, particularly within the group context as well, particularly anything which is very to do with technology, like the information technology we got going everywhere at the moment. It could be that, or it could be another sort. That is your area where you can achieve most liberation and freedom, is by heading off onto the cutting edge, you know, the front line of something, or with affiliation through groups, and these new kinds of influences through associations or friendships that give you these sort of different ways of seeing things, or indeed in the early stages just questioning how can that be. Now for this month, with the new moon in opposite that point, it means that this is a good time to take the initiative related to important relationships, or partners, or romantically, young people, or a creative enterprise. Time for you to do something that you can really identify with, which gives you a sense of personal empowerment over the next 4 weeks, and to recognize that it does, and maybe to plan to try and be doing that more often in the future, or to say to yourself, okay, you know, because I am responding to this in a way which brings this feel-good factor into my life, I maybe need to be adapting my plan, my expectations, my attitude, so that I can get me some more, whatever that is about. So yes, and this new moon, because it is connecting to Uranus, might mean that there is a flash in the pan. It's like something out of the blue. It's like, which should be stimulating, inspiring. It should be. However, if you're quite closed, if you're quite fearful, then you can feel it as disruptive. You can feel it as like, well, that isn't what the plan was. You know, you can feel it like that. But we are dealing with Uranus, the planet, the awakener, the planet of change. Now, other news is that it's also the planet of the unconventional, the planet of, as I said before, technology, and the unconventional in all of its forms. It does tend to rule unusual experiences, and indeed, which in the angle that it is to your sun, and in the angle, yes, over these many years, it could mean that even though you didn't want to shift from a position, maybe you're seeing that there is absolutely no contest anymore, that it's obvious that you do have to. Now, until the 24th, there's a brighter, less inward vibration around. That's because the sun is in what I call the house of fun, and that could manifest as opportunities to be in more fun-like environments, or environments which, again, you get this feeling of appreciation, you get this feeling of being perhaps more center stage, or you get this feeling of empowerment from what you do. So it's the area of the inner child. It's also the area of performance and arts and entertainment. It's the area of leisure activities in general, hobbies, pastimes, that kind of thing. It's also the area to do with young people and their affairs. And you're more likely to feel the light of appreciation coming in your direction, you know. But also turn that around, it could be that you are appreciating someone or something. It's also the area of romance as well. So it's got a lot going for it, this area here, Gemini. And then Mercury is also here. And you enjoy playing with ideas more. The what ifs, you know, wouldn't it be nice if, and your creative juices would be flowing. You feel potential there, and you may be more articulate, say, you know, if it's important to be articulate, because this is the area to do with performance, this is the area to do with the arts, as I said, creativity, entrepreneurship, but also romance and young people. So maybe you're articulate in these sorts of, more articulate in those areas, and really clicking and really beginning to get what somebody's talking about, or they're being able to get what you're talking about. You can beat the drum on something, and you could be just more romantically expressive as well, but also artistically and creatively expressive during this time. Now, having said all that, Mercury, which is your ruling planet, so it's always important to know what Mercury is doing, is retrograde and continues retrograde until the 9th, so just after the first week. And that means that everything that I've just described can be a little bit difficult, more difficult to achieve or to experience, or maybe the slowdowns, postponements, delays, somebody didn't get the right end of the stick, and the like. However, it is in general a very creative and quite a fun sort of area. Until then from the, until the 9th, Venus then is in a very sociable sector of your solar chart, and Venus has been there since June the 6th. So very, very sociable time, helping you to be articulate again, helping others to like your style, helping you to be more self-expressive, coming from the heart, but also being in situations where you're enjoying others being self-expressive, coming from the heart, and meaningfulness in the chit-chat of every day. You know, every now and again something bobs up to the surface which kind of strikes a chord, you know, and is meaningful. You could be very creatively expressive during this long transit. So if you're listening to this in September, You've still got a way to go because it doesn't come out of there until the 9th of October. And you just get more access to more welcoming, friendly relationships, especially with siblings or soul brothers and sisters. And this transit can, in general, bring warm, supportive relations with others on a daily sort of basis. And you can do better when buying, selling, renting, leasing, and doing any kind of negotiating, promoting, media. You can do better through that. And if you want to settle a feud or negotiate something, then you can be very persuasive. And then from the 9th, Venus, I don't know why I suddenly became German or Austrian then, I've no idea. And then from the 9th, Venus beams a friendly, sociable light into the root of your chart. And that will be for a much shorter period, for about 3 weeks, and this can manifest over that time in various ways, as you know, enjoying more where you're based or the home base, or just appreciating more about what you have on the home base, or just, you know, in the proximity outside, if you've got a garden, or just in the little neighborhood, it might be like that, just more warmth and kind of friendship, harmony, to do with family matters, maybe tribal connections. You like where you are, I've said that already, but maybe you're not at home, maybe you're away somewhere, and you may also, another thing about this is that you're enjoying the company you've got around, or indeed you are hosting people, or you are the guest with somebody. But again, this area here, you may enjoy using your creative juices, because you are beautifying things, you're just making the place sort of better in whatever way you want, more comfortable, and that sort of word that goes with Venus all the time, harmonious, and probably doing it with a friend, or not maybe it's not a friend, but teaming up is always a Venus theme wherever she goes. She likes to team up, she likes to share. So sharing some nice location, or whatever's going on out on the home base, or wherever you are located with somebody else, is the idea. And now Mars is at the root of your chart, and will be all month. And also this is Venus, so Mars and Venus are together, and so is Jupiter. So you have a huge emphasis on the root of your chart, the home base, domestic setup, domestic conditions, family, neighborhood, tribe, the locality, the feeling of warmth and connection and harmoniousness in the locality maybe, but also busy, because Mars is there. And so there could be hustle and bustle going on, sort of moving things or improving things or DIYing things, you needing to be decisive and assertive, another around being decisive and assertive perhaps, comings and goings, just getting it organized. Skeletons could start rattling in the closet. This is quite a sensitive area, I have to say. So maybe the slightest little thing can kind of, you know, make you do a double take. Well, not the slightest little thing, but every now and again something might just press a button. So be aware of that. And then on the other hand, you may be putting your energies into something which connects you with tradition, your history or nature. So it can be your own history. It can be just like historical or antique or nature. This is an area to do with the earth, Mother Nature, the planet as a whole. So maybe some of you feeling a more of a connection there, and being more dynamic and active because of nature, Mother Nature. For some, parents or parenting are emphasized as well, especially on the male side. And then the sun moves on the 24th, and means that you've got to, you know, roll up your sleeves, you've got to deal with the to-do list, you've got to juggle things, you've got to think about repairs and maintenance, or maybe some diet and exercise or health matters, or somebody else's. That's the kind of sort of scenario there. Now in September, Saturn returned to your opposite sign, Sagittarius, and will be there until late 2017. And this long-term position of Saturn is ultimately constructive for your sign, but it can be challenging, and it may manifest from time to time as you having to work harder, to cooperate, to compromise, to collaborate, to balance your point of view and your needs, and just your moods and your perspective with that of another who's got their moods and their perspective as well. So at times you're going to feel a lack. You're going to feel a lack of the balance here, and then you will feel inhibited sometimes. But on the other hand, it's good for sort of having really putting your cards on the table and understanding, okay, concretely, in a practical way, you know, how am I managing this relationship? Or maybe it's more than one relationship. And sometimes there's a breakup that can occur, but also it can make a relationship because it just strengthens it, because you learn how to weather kind of, not necessarily stormy weather, but kind of the doldrums together. It can feel a bit stormy sometimes, I have to say, but some of you will want to tie the knot under this long transit of Saturn. Some of you will actually say, okay, I'm really going to take this on. I'm really going to go for this now. And also, it might not be in your personal life, it might be in a business sense, or with a teacher of some kind, or in another kind of way to do with your outer, more formal outer life, where actually Saturn operates a lot better with formality rather than really up close, and so it doesn't really do sort of cuddly kind of very personal interactions, as well as she's more comfortable with keeping it all, you know, in a formal kind of a way. But in a formal sense, it means that you can build up really good relations with others, or indeed you can learn a lot from somebody else who has got a maturity or an expertise that you very much aspire to. And you Geminians born the 21st to the 26th of June, or with 0 to 5 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this forecast period. Jupiter is now in your home area until next September, highlighting expansion related to your place on the map. So some of you might be traveling more, some of you might actually relocate abroad, and just you learning an awful lot more from where you are physically. So if you felt cramped or restless, this is a very good year in which to move, all other things considered, of course. And there could be like a newcomer in your space as well for some of you. So that's another way. You might want to expand your space. There will be this feeling of expansion of your space over this next nearly 12 months. And you Geminians born from the 1st to the 8th of June, or with 11 to 17 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this month. And then during the long transit of Neptune in your career area, it's more likely that you become the facilitator or the support. Others just see you like that, or that you're providing a service, and in order to enable them, and you may sacrifice your own style, you may sacrifice your own path, you may sacrifice your own plan. But as long as you have separated the needy from the greedy and maintain strong boundaries for yourself, this more service-orientated way of working should be rewarding, and it can be lucrative, and it can be, you know, very productive as well. But you do have to be very careful about being extremely clear about not just going in for something and doing something just because somebody else expects it. You know, maybe you have plunged into a commitment of some kind, and then you change your mind because what you're having to do to meet that commitment is just regularly tiring you out. So, you know, that's what I mean by drawing the line in the sand, putting in the boundary, okay? You Geminians are born 27th to the 31st of May, or with 6 to 8 degrees rising, going to feel the energy the most this month. That will be within those sorts of dates and degrees, and that's it. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. All of this is written up on DianaGarland.com. And by the way, I'm sorry if I haven't answered your emails, but there was a broken link on my website. I'm speaking to you in August. So if you wrote to me over July and August, I didn't get them. So I'm really sorry about that. And I expect it'll be fixed by the time you hear this anyway. And I'll see you the next time.